World Cup was tomorrow, how many European teams do you think are as good or better than the U.S.?
I think it's very close. I think at the end of the day, these teams are tactically sophisticated, technically very good. But what I'm seeing a shift is on the mental and physical side. We're no longer, way mentally stronger and more fit than these teams. You're seeing teams being able to go for 90 minutes. You're seeing teams step out onto the field where they used to lose the game before they stepped out and played us. Now they're stepping out and they're feeling confident that they can beat us. And that is the shift and that is the change. And you can have a team full of amazing, talented players, but as we've seen throughout the course of championships won, it's not all about talent. Getting to a World Cup and winning a World Cup really is all between the ears. It's the mind, it's the mentality. It's hard, it's gruesome. You've got pressure, you have expectations, you have obligations throughout the tournament. The media are saying certain things. It's going to be really, really hard. And I think the biggest test for this U.S. group is going to be the mentality. Do they all have what it takes to dig deep, to weather the roller coaster of a ride? And if not, you're going to see some other team lifting that trophy. So I think at the moment right now, it's fair game for anybody.
Well, that mentality is something that you and many of your colleagues over the years have cultivated, that they have to live up to. But you mentioned something there that was interesting about the evolution and the progress of many of the other teams and some debutantes that we have here. When you look at it relative to the U.S., and there was a lot of talk during the draw about how far the rest of the world has come. Have they caught up? To your point, have they possibly passed us when it comes to the U.S.? Is it more what other countries have done, or is there an element of what the United States hasn't done? And if so, can you pinpoint any of those things? I guess it's a long question in terms of asking what are the things that the rest of the world has done to catch up, and what are the things maybe from the U.S. standpoint that we haven't done and maybe need to do to stay even a fraction ahead of the rest of the world?
I think the rest of the world, there's been more support and there's been more investment. Their leagues have gotten more competitive. I don't know that it's necessarily anything, different that they're doing. I think it's just the confidence in the rest of the world to know that the U.S. is no longer just the lone sole powerhouse out there. We are beatable. And unfortunately, you saw that in Tokyo. We went in as one of the top teams to bring home a gold medal. Loads of talent, but we didn't get it done because a lot of different reasons. You see a team like Canada, don't think they're better than the U.S., but they were a better team than us. And that's why they lifted or received that gold medal. So I think from the U.S. standpoint, we have all the resources, even more resources than when I first started on this team. You have an incredible amount of support staff. You have, the equipment guy bringing your boots to training. You don't have to worry about, the massages. I mean, there's not anything unturned that the U.S. team doesn't have at their fingertips. And so I think that what I'm seeing is just the mentality is a little bit different. It's a new group of players, a different mentality, a different generation. And you never want to get complacent. You never want to think that you've won anything when you haven't won anything. And so I don't think that there's necessarily anything in particular that isn't being done. It's, can they keep pushing on the legacy that has made this national team so special from the start.
Hold on, Carli. Did you just grumpy old woman the U.S. Women's National Team? Are they a bunch of spoiled brats in terms of what they have, and they're taking it all for granted?
No, but it's hard. It's hard to stay at the top. It's hard to be the number one team all the time. You're seeing just loads more support because the game has come so far, and that's just the way it is. You've got the pioneers and 99ers who didn't have what we all had in my years, and now the team is getting more things than what my group has had too. That's the evolution of the game. That's how you make things better, but you still have to have that hunger, that will, and that mentality to win at all costs. And once you lose that, it doesn't matter the support you have. It doesn't matter all of the things that you have, because it's not going to make a difference if you don't have that mentality. So we've pushed the game further and further. The national team has become better and better. But it's up to each and every player to hold on to that mentality. That, for me, is what's going to win the next World Cup for them.
You like that clip? Well, my State of the Union podcast drops every week. Subscribe now on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts.
You like that clip? Well, my State of the Union podcast drops twice a week right here on my very own YouTube page. The only way to stay up to date is to hit that subscribe button down below. Size the day, and see you soon.